To Breakfast Central on News Central, and we are broadcasting live from Lagos. Let's go straight into our top stories this morning. Angolans are preparing to head to the polls on Wednesday in what is expected to be the closest election since the country first allowed a multi-party vote in 1992. The key question is whether voters will once again pick the left-wing People's Movement for the Liberation of Angola, MPLA, which has run the country for half a century, or back the centre-right National Union for the Total Independence of Angola, that's UNITA, under the charismatic Adalberto Costa Jr.
The poll puts veteran politicians against a generation of young voters just beginning to grasp that they can bring about a radical change and escape from the shadow of the Cold War. In this report, News Central's Ni Omoni captures the mood of the electorate as the August 24 polls draws near.
The People's Movement for the Liberation of Angola, MPLA, has been in power in the country since the declaration of independence from Portugal in 1975. But with elections just a few days away, it seems they may have reached a point where the party will now need a bigger and better agenda to secure another 5 years in power.
Viva glorioso MPLA!
In 2017, when Joe Lourenço, the MPLA candidate, won his first berth in office, he made economic development and the fight against corruption the key pillars of his campaign. 5 years later, with elections looming again, many say the fight has been insufficient.
50% do angolano é desempregado. Isso mancha o governo no poder. Isso mancha o governo no poder. Não é bom termos governo desse tipo. Mal governação, que também só não fazem porque mal vontade política.
C'est vraiment compliqué parce qu'il n'y a que mon mari qui travaille et son salaire ne suffit pas pour tout payer. Par exemple, nous n'avons toujours pas payé le loyer.
Analysts also believe Lourenço has failed to deliver on his promise of an economic miracle.
L'Angola est l'un des 20 pires environnements d'affaires du monde. Nous n'avons pas d'infrastructures, nous avons des mauvais services d'éducation. Donc tant que l'État ne s'occupe pas de résoudre ces problèmes, tout en laissant le secteur privé se charger du reste, nous n'arriverons pas à diversifier l'économie.
Lourenço's principal rival is Adalberto Costa Jr. of the National Union for the Total Independence of Angola, UNITA. Though only 8 years younger than the incumbent, Costa Jr. has tried to position himself as a representative of the young civil society and all those who have lost out under the years of MPLA rule. Meanwhile, Angola's political and electoral system favors Lourenço's MPLA since the responsibility to organize voter registration falls on the Ministry of Territory Administration, a government agency, rather than an independent electoral commission. The arrival of the body of the former president, who died in Spain in July, has further cast a new element into the tense election campaign.
Satisfação, a gente nunca está sempre contente, não é? Nós esperamos mais daquilo que eles já fizeram.
As Angolans go to the polls on August 24, a new generation could end decades of MPLA rule this week and serve notice to Africa's veteran leaders that the people have a voice and they are not hesitant to speak at the polls. Ni Omoni, reporting for News Central.
What a great coverage there by Ni Omoni. Well, MPLA is currently led by incumbent President João Lourenço, and of course derives much of its support from its role in ending Angola's 1975 to 2002 civil war against UNITA. Now, by the way, the two anti-colonial guerrilla movements were locked in a struggle following Angola's independence from Portugal in 1975. But high unemployment, corruption and the repression of civil liberties has hit MPLA's popularity, particularly among Angola's disillusioned youth, for whom the memory of the civil war may not be as fresh. So, Asauge, there's a lot that's about to go down, especially tomorrow in Angola, where there are expectations that there might be a change in rulership, especially from the political angle.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it was yesterday or sometime last week we spoke about, the former president dos Santos. So basically, the country is dealing with the emotions across the country, are a lot. Dos Santos' body, just got repatriated for burial. There's still a little bit of controversy surrounding that, and that is someone who had been in power for 38 years. before, of course, he stepped down or he was kicked out. So there is a lot that needs to change. The people of Angola, they have about 14 million registered voters that would be deciding who their next president will be. And of course, I like the fact that they've thrown in the angle where there's a lot of young voters who are eager to see a change. One thing I've always said, and I've always gotten to see is that a lot of times political parties have never really shown themselves to work in favor of the people. There's a lot of times where you just have parties, set up to win elections, but never really be able to do well and do better for the people. So I'm hoping that this is going to be a wake-up call for the people of Angola, and they're able to, get themselves together. Those 14 million voters are able to come out, and make a change and make a decision for themselves that's tomorrow, actually, the 24th of August. We, of course, here at News Central, will be following up with the elections, and we bring you live feed and live updates tomorrow from the elections in Angola. And we hope, that it is as peaceful as possible and as exciting also as the Kenyan elections that we've been covering for a while. Best of luck to Angolans.
Most definitely. And don't forget too that the broadcasting coverage will start from here. That's on Breakfast Central. So make sure you stay with us and continue to keep tabs and, of course, turn on your notifications, be it your alarm.